This is a First and 10 Monday on Coaching Football with Brian Clee.
I had a discussion with another coach about game planning with a tight end in a Flexbone offense against a 3-0-3 odd front. Wanted to share what we discussed. Thought it'd be interesting to talk about. We've used a tight end before in the Flexbone. Feel it can give us an advantage, kind of stretch the front of the defense a little bit and make some gaps available. The coach that I was talking with definitely likes outside veer. We call the formation green. We're just green gold for our school colors. Green, we're putting the tight end to the right. Gold, we're putting the tight end to the left. Tight end should be able to get a pretty clean release. In our experience, those 9 techniques, if an odd front is playing them, they typically do not alter the release of that tight end much. So we really like that tight end getting up to that 40 tech linebacker. We want to attack the C gap area, and that's what coach said they had some success doing last time. They also had some success throwing against the team that gave them this look. We get a double team on outside veer on that 3 technique. We got our backside scoops. Quarterback's going to step in a little bit wider than what he would on inside veer. We'd want him to step off a little bit there. And we'd probably tighten our splits a little bit. We'll also do it on rocket, on some play action stuff. The fullback is going to aim for the outside leg of the guard and ride that wall of down blocks. Dive key is going to be the 9 technique. Pitch key is that corner. So we've got our wing arcing, and he would be looking for that free safety. Got our motion, split ends down the pipe. And our experience with outside veer, we don't run it a ton, but when we do it, typically it's a dive or key play. Either that 9 technique is stepping down and tackling the fullback, and the quarterback's going to pull it and replace tight, or he's going to have given it to the fullback. So the other thing that we'd really like, if the defense wants to line up with this, ultimately they're leaving that 90 tech linebacker over there. The coach I was talking to said he was pretty sure is man-to-man on that slot. And if they're leaving him over there, they're not doing some sort of rotation. We want to bring extra guys over. So we'd go split end over now. And something that we run all the time in Flexbone is counter GT. And by all the time, I'm saying 5 to 8 times a game at the most, some misdirection. So get the defense thinking it's inside veer over here. Give them that full flow. Fullback's job would be kick out that 6 technique. And now if they're keying anything, if they're only keying backfield, if they're only keying that motion, they're only keying that fullback, we're going to have a bunch of guys stepping in the wrong direction. Quarterback's going to step, token fake with that fullback, open up, get more depth, and eventually boot away. Up front, we're blocking a bunch of down blocks. As long as we don't allow penetration, we really like what's happening. If we can get those linebackers to either step with that motion or step with that fullback, most likely the tight end's down block is going to get that 40 technique, which we like. You'll see why in a second. Guard, pull, and kick. Tackle, pull, and wrap. Right there, if that 40 technique gets pinned inside by the tight end, that tackle can keep on going, and we got a blocker for the free safety. After stepping, giving a quick token fake to the fullback, that backside slot needs to step off. Quarterback's going to take in the ball, and the key coaching point is get that slot shoulders square on this. Not every Flexbone team that I know of typically runs counter tray. We end up doing it so that way we can get that full flow misdirection, split end with stock out here, and we're attacking that C gap bubble still. With the idea of attacking the C gap bubble in mind still, we really like down or down G or belly, depending on what you call it. The tackle and the tight end are both down. Guard, pull, and kick. Now we're going to go out of twins over though. Let's get that free safety out of there. We don't have extra puller coming like we did on counter GT up above. Let's get that free safety out of there over on the twins now instead of just a split end. We bubble these guys. We'll come back to why we're doing that in a second. Get a bunch of scoop blocks on the backside. Full motion, make it look like rocket. Quarterback reverse pivots. Fullback slide step. and hit the alley, and we're off and running on down. Complementing that down, we would throw a couple rockets out there. If that 9 technique is reacting, trying to get inside of the fullback at all, maybe, and just to keep the linebackers running. If the linebackers start plugging on down, what we probably would do, we get those linebackers filling as opposed to running sideline to sideline, not honoring that rocket fake. We're probably going to throw a rocket out there, and we're stepping to reach. And the key thing is take care of this 9 technique and that 40 technique. That 9 technique steps out, tries to stretch the reach block at all, that becomes the tight ends, the tackle climbs. That 9 technique is up the field or steps inside. The tackle is going to overtake that, which means that 40 technique is probably trying to get outside. Takes some time repping that, but rocket's something that we do all the time in half lines. Have no problem running it. Full motion, get the ball pitched. Key coaching point is you want to catch that pitch right around the offensive tackle. Fullback goes away. And if these guys are close enough, we're going to try and switch block it. Just the timing of those blocks work out better. If that free safety's walk down and inside a little bit more, we'll obviously go ahead and stalk block it. So the reason we're bubbling out there, if we've had 2 series and we're getting this look where the free safety's walked out over number 2, because right now the tight end is ineligible. He's covered up by the split end. He's not the end man. He can't go downfield for a pass in this formation. After 2 or 3 series, we're going to see, hey, what happens when we put our slot on and our split end off? If we've been getting this alignment out of twins, we're going to call off, which is a 1 word, 1 formation, 1 play type deal for us. Still going to bubble out here. And now there's this void that the secondary hasn't covered up the tight end. This 40 tech linebacker, I guess in theory, could block or cover that tight end. But that tight end's been blocking him all night. So tight end up the seam. Give that linebacker a reason to step up with a quick play fake. We slide pass pro. The backside slot would, again, have stepped on. He's going to outside release to his seam, and we should get a cheap, easy throw and catch to that tight end. Really like that there. If that free safety plays over and they leave the twins uncovered for some reason, throw the bubble out there. If you are in the Flexbone because that quarterback can't do much more than throw a seam and a wheel, and you can't complete that bubble the first couple times you maybe try to throw it in practice or something like that, the other option is that you could check to what we call down follow and just let the quarterback follow the fullback on down. So use that down scheme that we showed up above, get our pull and kick, get our scoops. And if you don't like throwing the bubble out there, or if they take that 90 tech linebacker, put them over here, and they completely take away both, but not completely, but for a Flexbone team, if they both take away both the bubble and the seams, running down Fox is an option out of this formation, because you get the extra lead blocker with the fullback there as the quarterback tucks behind and keeps it. Coach and I both agreed that attacking the tight end side was most beneficial against this defensive alignment. However, to keep the defense honest to the split end side, we were discussing ways to do that. My number one way, our offense's number one way, especially against the 3-0-3 look, would be give midline triple a try. So we would switch block out on the perimeter. Got to make sure the split ends split is about 5 to 6 yards, so he can pin the force player, that 90 tech, inside. Got our counter or twirl motion out of our slot. He's blocking the corner for pitch. Dive key is the 3 technique. Pitch key is that 6 technique. Tackle is releasing, and he's working on pinning that 20 tech linebacker inside. He's in the B gap cylinder. The guard is going to inside release. He's A gap cylinder. They're going to sort out that 20 tech linebacker. That 20 tech linebacker's out. He's the tackle. He's in. He's the guard. And then they're ready for that 40 tech linebacker to scrape across. We've got a short scoop out of our center, scoop and hinge out of our guard, scoop and hinge out of our tackle. We should end up with the double team against that 3 technique. Our tight end's going to bang the 9 technique and then release to try and get some downfield blocking. We'd have 2 shots at getting that 40 technique, both on the backside there with the guard and tackle. If the tackle knocks the guard off the block while they're comboing. Quarterback, you're going to step open just like you would on midline. Our fullback is aiming for the play side leg of the center. And this part for us, midline triple is not truly a triple option for most coaches, and I agree with that in the Flexbone, but we are reading the dive part. Even with that 0 technique nose there, we're going to read that. We're going to leave the 3 technique unblocked, 3 techniques up the field. We're giving the dive, just like we would on regular midline. That 3 technique closes. We are anticipating a leverage pitch. The no motion wing has to be flat and fast through the heels of the fullback there. And if that 6 technique is either up the field or inside, we feel he can't get outside to the pitch. And that's what most midline triple coaches that run midline triple believe. If that 6 technique's stepping outside, we got a couple other answers. Maybe our quarterback steps and keeps it for a play. We're still reading him, but we're anticipating that leverage pitch. Again, if he unless he turns and runs immediately to the outside, we want to get the ball pitched, get it out on the perimeter, cut up, see what we can get going. The other thing that we're going to do, the coach that I was talking to, we were pretty sure that 90 technique was man-to-man on that slot. So we're running midline triple to set up a big play action pass. We get that slot in his twirl motion again. We start to make it look like a crack again. We're going to fake. Ultimately, we're faking inside veer on this. For the most part, if we're calling this, it's not the secondary that we need to fool. It's just we got to give a little bit of look of play action. Usually right now, this out on the perimeter is enough for the secondary to not know is it run or pass. And then that split end is going to slip it and be on a crack seam, where we're going to wheel the slot out, get our slide pass pro going. And now I want to make this 4 verts. Bottom line, I don't need this guy coming post snap over here. So instead of bringing the wing on that post snap, I want to wheel him out. Hopefully drag the corner with him. Corner's got to cover him. Put the tight end down the seam. And if we can get that free safety on that tight end, we now got the corner isolated. We can go crack seam to wheel off of the play fake. And that 90 technique linebacker, especially with the fullback stepping right to him, with that twirl motion starting, it depends on where his eyes go after that. But if his eyes are there at best, he's probably trailing that wheel. And that corner, if he's man-to-man, that corner's completely gone. If it's some sort of zone, and the corner's going to split both of those, they are vertical routes in a sense, but that wheel's going to be late, so that's not likely. But if that corner's going to give up inside leverage, knowing that the free safety might not be there, that crack seam's wide open. If that free safety, if they are truly playing a cover 3 and that free safety drops to the middle, I do think you could change the progression to crack seam, tight end seam, wheel. I think that's an option if you like how your quarterback can process things. That crack seam, it's either open or not. Go to the other seam, it's not there, and then like a check down to the wheel. So for you people, anyone who's R4 terminology, rhythm, read, rush is something that I think you can do. If I'm wrong, leave a comment below and let me know. The other thing that we talked about, I like Coach's idea of running some sort of counter option. So quarterback open, quick fake to the fullback, and then we're going to come back to the play side. He'd use the same twirl motion as I showed on midline triple and the switch block out on the perimeter. 3 technique, try and get the guard to reach him. Tackle can punch and climb. He's assuming, hoping that that fullback faking away, gets that 20 tech linebacker to step the wrong direction, gives that tackle more time to punch and ride that 3 technique. That tackle though has to pin the 20 tech inside. Going to leave the 6 technique as the pitch key. Get our scoops on the backside. No motion, bringing that backside wing and that 6 technique. I'd anticipate him stepping down because he saw action away, and you're going to get, again, the concept of a leverage pitch. There's no dive read involved with this, and that's why Coach really liked it. And then the last thing, if that 6 technique has been trying to get to the perimeter to help on midline triple, I really like giving outside veer weak a try. We don't major in running outside veer weak because you kind of have to get that B-gap defender to make it go. And on top of that, we feel midline triple's just as effective, but we've at times used outside veer against this look. You can make either the 90 or the corner, the pitch key. In our experience, we want to leave that corner for pitch. So we'd use that same crack that we've been talking about. Leave the 6 technique as the dive key. Get our double with the guard and tackle. That slot, just like you would on zone dive. Ride the tackle's hip. And let's pin the 20 tech linebacker. Really create a dent at the line at the point of attack and move that line of scrimmage. Fullback steps. Got to step off the line a little bit. Steps a little bit wider than inside veer. Fullback aims through the outside leg of that guard, rides that wall, and especially when you get full motion coming, that 6 technique, in our experience, if he's been chasing midline triple, he's going to leave enough of a crease that you're going to be able to give the ball quite a bit to the fullback. He's going to be stepping either up the field or outside. You're giving it. If he steps down, quarterback replaces, make a read off of the block of the 90 technique, and most times that corner is working on staying wide or melting off. Doesn't give you a clear pitch signal, at least when we run outside veer, because you've made him the pitch player. You usually get to give to that fullback, crease him a couple times, and then get a couple quarterback keeps. So Flexbone with the tight end, really advantageous. Can get that C-gap bubble to attack to that tight end side as long as you got plays to attack it, like down, outside veer, down follow for us. Midline can maybe still get going over there, and midline triple to the tight end side, definitely an option. And then to the weak side, really like midline triple and how that sets up our 4 verts with a switch on the play action side. Don't love how the defense is defending this from a defensive standpoint. If you want to see how I would go about defending Flexbone with an odd stack and a 1-high structure, check out the video linked below.
If you think it would be fun to participate in a 1st and 10 Monday in some way, shape, or form, whether that is you presenting an offensive formation or two and how you would go about game planning against how I would try to defend that, and I'm going to exchange some ideas about how we're going to game plan to defend that offensive concept and those formations, or if you want to flip that script and you want to have me present an offensive formation or two and some offensive concepts and how we're going to game plan for how you would go about trying to defend us, and you're exchanging your ideas about how to put together a defensive game plan to stop that. That'd be great. There's my contact information. Hit me up on Twitter, leave a comment down below, or shoot me an email.